You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Welcome back to the Mike and Ike Show. I'm Mike.
And I'm Mike. We hope everyone had an enjoyable holiday season. Looking at the group me chat lately, it appears that some have either not woken up from New Year's Eve partying or, they're still just really depressed about going back to work.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely noticed our numbers the last podcast were down a little bit. So if you're not listening to this podcast, I can call you a loser and you'd never know. So to those of you out there, stop being losers.
And to those of you who are listening and you are great fans of the show, make sure you keep promoting the show. It takes a lot of work to not only produce the show, but to get it from the Twilight Zone. Speaking of vacations and not working, where the hell are Trump's weekly predictions for games?
I was wondering that same thing myself. I did find Trump's personal number on Twitter, so I say we give him a call and just see what's up.
Oh, let me give him a ring here. Did you say you found that number on Twitter? Man, where does ARZ live again? Can he get 31 other people in that country? Who the heck has ringback tones nowadays? Oh, here's his voicemail here.
This is Donald Trump, and I am too busy pretending to be for president for predictions this week. I will make America great one day.
All right, well, to not get into politics, let's just hope he shows back up to predict that Super Bowl coming up. So, what's on the docket for conversation this week?
Well, ladies, boom, that's you, and gentlemen, we have to make it to the playoffs.
Seriously? Already?
Hell yeah! So let's make some predictions for the Super Bowl. Who's going to be in? Who's going to be out? Well, what's the outcome?
Well, let's see. Based on who I've seen, I'm going to go with the Vikings from the NFC and big man Jim and his Steelers from the AFC.
Ooh.
Pretty common sense coming out of the NFC, I think. No one else has seemed near as dominant as the Vikings, both running the ball and defensively. He doesn't pass the ball a lot. I think he's toward the bottom passing, but you don't need to pass the ball when you're running for almost 200 yards a game. So Vikings are just a force on offense, and then defense, they are going to just shut down other teams. I don't think anybody even gives them a real competition. And then when you look at the Steelers, they have Le'Veon Bell. They have Antonio Brown. They have Martavis Bryant. They have Ladarius Green at tight end. And then they have what most wouldn't even consider good weapons. They have Marcus Wheaton and Sammy Coates, who are better than some teams' number 2 receivers. So, and not to mention their offensive line. That offensive line has caused problems for a lot of teams.
It's a damn good line.
Yes, and so I'm not sure if any team really gives them a struggle. The Texans might give them a struggle just because the Texans have a real strong front seven, real strong defense. But I feel like the Texans might struggle a little bit offensively against the Steelers. So we'll see. But I'm going Vikings Steelers, and I'm going to go with a Viking win for the Super Bowl.
Ooh. Is it going to be close? Is it going to be close, or is it going to be...
Man, I don't know. I think it's going to be grinded out, and I do think it'll be close. Fairly low scoring, 17-13, 17-14, something like that. I just think it'll be a grinded out game. Minnesota's going to run the ball. Steelers are going to try to pass, but I'm just going low scoring, Viking win.
Well,
so what are your thoughts?
I understand your reasoning there. I get it. I'm going to go with Bills-Cowboys, though. The playoffs are not a new stage for either of these teams. Neither for either of the owners in Madden 17 or Madden 16. Jason, owner of the Cowboys, has continued to be dominant since winning the Super Bowl, and Andrew's always been in the race, but he usually loses before he gets to that big game. Has not yet won that big game yet. So if you look at both of these rosters, they're both talented. Both the coaches are talented. They stay fresh. They bring in new plays. You can make a case for both of them were very good teams at the start of Madden 17. The Bills and the Cowboys had very capable rosters, but the coaches have made improvements. They've gotten rid of players that they don't feel like they need, and they continue to make their teams the top in the league. So that's not just from the start of Madden 17. That's a season after, well, now almost 2 seasons after, and they're still going to be extremely talented next season. I do believe that the Cowboys will win an unprecedented XCFL back-to-back Super Bowl championship. I think it'll be a close, really tight game. I have a feeling it's going to start slow, and they're going to feel each other out a little bit. And it may even be a little messy. I don't know, 3-and-out, maybe interception or something. But at the end, I think both of these teams are going to be firing shots at each other. I think it's going to pick up pace really quickly, maybe a little bit before halftime. And I think that the Cowboys are going to win with a 3-point victory. And the sad, crushing part is that, the Super Bowl stage lights are really bright. I feel like the Bills players are going to stumble at the end. It's going to be tied. They're going to be going in, and they're going to fumble and give the Cowboys a field goal, and Cowboys are going to win 2017.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen. But I could see it happening. The Bills are young. The Bills have made mistakes. So if they can manage to get there, they can very easily manage to screw it up. So it's definitely a high possibility.
All right, we're looking forward to the Super Bowl. Let's move on to what we got up next.
Next up, we have Coach Doss, owner of the Oakland Raiders, on the phone for an interview. Welcome to the Mike and Ike Show.
Hey, proud to be here.
Those of you that don't know Coach Doss, he's in charge of his real-life favorite team, the Oakland Raiders. Coach Doss, I got to ask you, because I have no affiliation, no love for the Bengals myself. Is it a little different coaching a team that you like? I mean, are you more hesitant to trade players? Are you get more pissed off at the game if you lose? What's it like when you're coaching your real-life favorite team?
Well, from my experience, this being my first year in the XFL with my team, pretty much, I don't really think anyone's off limits, but you, as a coach, you kind of expect the best out of your players, being that, you're a fan of that team. So I pretty much expect the best out of them on every play. But I'm open to trading, so yeah, nobody's safe. If you're not executing, you can be gone.
All right, well, you had a fantastic season. You concluded with an 11-5 record, had the playoff appearance against the Steelers in the wild card round. So before talking about that wild card game, let's mention the regular season. Currently, you are third in the league scoring points with 28 points per game. So give us a brief overview of some of those top performers that you probably aren't trading on offense this year.
Well, it's funny you say that because I believe offense is going to need to be worked on pretty hard in the off season. But as far as our offense is gone, we're pretty much a run first team. I have Murray at 143 attempts and Bird at 113 attempts, well over 1,400 yards and 21 touchdowns on the ground. But just got to get our passing game worked on a little bit.
It's funny you mention that because I was looking defensively, and you're slightly better than middle of the pack. I mean, you're not horrible, not the best either, but funny enough, you struggle against the rushing. So, maybe do some more practice against your own team there. But who have been your top performers on defense so far this season?
Defense, top performer would have to be Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, the old man that I traded for Andrew last season. He finished with 6 picks. Next to him would be probably Irvin. He had 90 tackles, 6 sacks. So, we need work all around. I'm not trying to sound salty about my guys, but we just need to execute better. We're going to work on some things in the off season. But, yeah, that's about it. Our rookie, Eldridge, picked him in the first round. He had 4 interceptions, 11 deflections. Total, we've had well over 25 deflections. We just need to get our DB's hands up and get some interceptions.
All right, well, looking at some of the struggles, a number that I found shocking is how ineffective Derek Carr has been in your offense. Looking at Carr, he had only 15 touchdowns before he strung together 8 in those last 3 games to finish with 23. So when you have weapons like Amari Cooper and Terrence Williams, you would think you'd expect a little more touchdowns. So, yeah, Cooper only had 3, I believe. So is there an easy answer to why you aren't having more success throwing the ball and why you did have a little more success at the end of the season?
Yeah, there's an easy answer. It all comes down to Carr was sacked second most in the XFL
Ouch.
this year with 48 sacks.
Oh, ouch.
I'm sorry, 43. We're a run first team. Carr had 400 pass attempts, but it all boils down to the line not giving him time, and the touchdowns that strung together towards the end of the year were when we were playing more better competition opponents. Not to take anything away from anyone else, but we play pretty conservative on offense. But when we're down, we have to sling it, and it's been working. So I'm going to take that in next year and stop being so conservative. Let offensive coordinator Tim Brown call the plays. I'm going to hand that off to him, and we're just going to start being more balanced. We like to run here in Oakland, obviously. Two rushers with over about 300 carries. So yeah, that's about it.
And that's impressive with the running game. Yeah, I think you do need to start slinging it. I mean, I was impressed. 8 touchdowns in the final 3 games. I mean, when I looked 3 games ago, I was like, man, Carr's only got 15 touchdowns. I was like, 23, whoa. So, obviously what you're doing is smart, and you start slinging a little bit more. Going to that wild card game, you played a tough team. Commissioner Jim's Pittsburgh Steelers. You lost 17-30. But of course, you had some success running the ball. I know you had over 100 yards, I think, or close to 100 yards. Only negative was you allowed 450 to Pittsburgh. Briefly go quick overview over the game. What kind of challenge does the Steelers play? He's in my division, so I know, but most people maybe don't have as much knowledge with the Steelers. What's the problem with playing the Steelers?
The problem with the Steelers is Jim's on a hot streak as of late, and there's weapons all over that offense. You can't hone in on one person. I think the game planning going into the game is what cost us the game. Other than him just flat out beating our ass, but we were expecting deep balls, and we got a lot of underneath stuff, and we were just seemed to be one defensive play call behind Jim. He mixed it up and pretty much threw our game plan out the window, and he ran away with it. And kudos to him. And I wish him the best of luck.
All right, so moving forward, playoffs are gone. We're done with that. So looking at the draft and free agency, would you briefly go over your top 3 needs by position? And then if you have anybody on the trade block, go ahead and give that shout out here, and we'll see if we can help promote some trades for you.
All right, top 3 needs, in all honesty, I don't feel we have any dire needs. We could upgrade some depth at defensive tackle. Probably going to have a right tackle retire in the offseason, so O-line would be second. And maybe a tight end, balanced tight end, or a run-blocking tight end would be the top 3 needs. As far as that, what was the second question?
Trade block. Who do you have available on the trade block right now?
Oh, this goes out to all XFL. Terrence Williams is on the block.
He's on the block, baby. And maybe just give a shout out that he performed better than Amari Cooper. So
yes, he did. Terrence Williams had 7 touchdowns, but
he may not be smart trading him.
Well, not soft, but we just don't feel as hard as in Oakland, so we're trying to get rid of him. I wish him the best of luck wherever he ends up, but he's met the end of his rope here in Oakland.
Alright.
Also, I'm open to trade talks for Connor Cook. I'm not trying to get rid of him, but if the deal on the table is good enough, I would consider it. And we have a running back in Marshall that is being, shuffled all the way down on the depth chart, but his attributes are good. And just come at me with some offers, and we can hash something out.
All right. Thanks again for coming in, Coach Doss, and we wish you luck with your favorite team and having some success. You had some success the first year here. I think this was your first year in the XCFL, so next year you already made the postseason this year. Next year maybe go a little bit farther and go all the way.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm honored to be here, and best of luck.
All right, next up, we have a brand new segment, a special report on running backs, episode 1. Make sure you watch the video because what we talk about goes right with the video.
Your sports team is vastly inferior. That simple fact is plainly obvious to see. We're gonna kick your collective posterior. Of course you realize we're speaking figuratively. Our stats are thoroughly impressive. Our coach really has the might of touch. Our players are fast and strong and brave, and your guys, not so much.
So we're going to take a look at some of the player attributes for running backs and see what kind of impact they have. So first, if you watch here, we're going to start with Tevin Coleman, my running back in our league. We're going to run over here and we're going to adjust his strength. It's currently at a 74, and you can see we're dropping it currently all the way to a 30. We've had a lot of debate recently in the chat about whether or not strength actually impacts a running back, so I'm dropping my strength down to 30. We're going to go into practice mode, run a few plays. And
So we've kept everything else the same. His trucking's the same. His ball carrier vision, his height, everything. Everything else is the same.
Yep, so we'll see how he does with 30 strength, and then we'll back out and see how he does with 90 strength and see if there's any difference.
We'll be using the same plays, pretty much the same defense, everything else being the same.
Yep, here we're going to load into the single back jumbo, HB dive, go over to 4-3. And I believe I use the 4-3 normal Tampa 2, I believe. Let's see, yep, Tampa 2. All right, so you'll also notice that I let the computer run the first few times just to kind of see if the computer has any success.
And the big thing we're seeing is does he truck people? Does he push them and continue going? So, open space is open space. I think we do get a few open space runs here, but does he push through people?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you're watching this, he's hit, and pretty much as soon as he's hit, he goes down. There's not a lot of... He's not falling forward. He's not doing any of that stuff. He's pretty much getting hit and dropping right then and there.
This would be a great example of open field. He didn't get hit, so that's not a good example of oval strength. Had a big reasoning there. But there's another one here, too.
All right, here I think I actually start taking control of it. But what I noticed there was... Once again, there's not a lot of falling forward, not a lot of breaking tackles, not a lot of shedding the tackles. It's just pretty much straight up. Oh, that was the last CPU run right there.
Yeah, that was the last. I thought there was 2 CPUs. So those 2 CPU runs, that he didn't get hit. So that's not the best example of when you really can see it. And that's, we're looking for more of the trucking. So now we're going to flip, and we're going to see here how good is it if you take control.
There you can see I tried to truck that time. You can tell I lowered the shoulder and still had no success. Once again, let's go through.
And you're going to tell with Andrew controlling that, the truck is more obvious. That he's really trying to, you're going to see him lean the shoulder down and really try to truck so you can really see if it's going to work or not. There you saw that truck move right there.
Yep, and it did nothing.
They really didn't. There he's trying, and he took a hit right to the face there.
Not having a lot of success going up the middle.
No, he didn't have much going up the middle. I'm really trying to push it.
That's that Studley Bills front seven for you right there.
Well, let's try to go out wide. The thing is, too, if you can get out wide and get a one-on-one situation with a safety or a corner or even an outside linebacker, see if you can truck. And we're going to do computer first. So see if the computer can get out wide and do some trucking. Remember, only 30 strength right now.
Yep, same plays. Nothing's changing. Or sorry, not same plays. Same defense. But now we're running a stretch run.
You can see here that this looks like this should get him possibly in a situation, the computer, where he can get some push.
And he's met.
Flipped right over.
Right behind the line there.
We're going to see a situation here where he's going to get met right at the line, maybe a yard, maybe not even a yard there. So far, he's not getting any push on these guys. Here, he got some open space, but again, he's met. So the open space isn't a big deal. It's when he's hit.
Yeah. Kind of hard to judge if it's having an impact or not, but once we turn the strength up, we'll compare our results and see if there's any noticeable difference. We've had a few. Oh, here's a one-on-one matchup. Oh, he busts that tackle and takes it to the house.
And we talked about that tackle, that to us, it didn't really look like a truck as much as a bad tackle. Remember that was the computer running, so we didn't push the truck, so we're not sure what the computer did. But to me, it looked like a conservative tackle that he just pushed out. It was just to his legs, and he just kind of walked right through it. So I'm not sure the strength had a huge impact on that one.
And here's me trying to run. There you can see I tried trucking and trucked too early, but then I did actually break a tackle.
You did break a tackle there, and you can really tell when it's Andrew because he's really trying to push that truck to really see if we can get some impact when we compare this one to the next one, because not only is the computer a comparison, but Andrew with low strength and Andrew with high strength is a good comparison as well.
Oh, definitely.
So you got a little push, but...
Yeah, right there, he still fought, and he only has 30 strength. So you see he still fought. He still tried to get off that tackle. The real test will be comparing whether or not the more strength is an improvement.
Here's a one-on-one matchup. Pretty quickly. This Bills defense, it's impressive.
Everyone fears the Bills.
I don't know if I go that strongly, but I think we're going to go back here and kind of play with our information a little bit and then go back. So we're going to go back. We're going to quit the game. Let's go back into those attribute settings. Remember, the only thing we're changing is strength. We're keeping everything else the same.
Yeah, we'll see here we take it up from that nice 30 all the way to 90, and nothing else changes. So now we're going to head back in there and let's see if we see any.
He looks more bulky. He looks more stout.
He looks buff. All right, let's head back into practice mode and run those exact same plays against the exact same defense and see what we notice as a difference, if any.
What do you think the difference will be here?
I honestly think that we're going to see a little more push. We're going to see more falling forward on tackles. I think the trucking will be a little more successful. But we will see. So, same play on offense, same Tampa 2 defense.
Remember, this is computer first.
Yep.
So, with the computer, you may see less obvious trucking as you will when we take control, but still, we're looking for, does he fall forward more?
Yeah, the first, let's check this run out here. So far, it's not really. Can't tell too much. He is falling forward, but I think it's more of a being tackled from the side. I don't think it's really.
Yeah, and that one he didn't fall forward at all. So
there he was met behind the line.
do another inside run. Tough situation here. Got some open space there.
That was me controlling him, I do believe. I don't think the CPU takes it out wide like that.
Yeah, this is you control. I mean, he just got met and crushed right there, just obliterated.
So far, not seeing much of a difference. But I think the true test will be seeing those one-on-one matchups whenever the truck's at its full strength.
Yeah, and you can get those outside one-on-one matchups because when you go up the middle, sometimes it does make it a little difficult. Because, you know, if you get just briefly stopped by one person like this, then another person comes up, and it's difficult to really see if you had a chance to even truck.
Yep.
All right, there he did fight a little bit for large there. He did, you know, and what I want to see when you go outside, and we talked about this, is, and there's no way to prove this, but when you get stood up like that, you know, it does leave you vulnerable for fumbles and things like that as well. So if you're not getting consistently a couple more yards for having high strength and standing up, and you're getting pushed back 9 times out of 10 regardless, I don't know if the strength was that much of a factor because you're putting yourself in kind of a vulnerable spot.
There I tried trucking and the guy actually got the block, so I think that hurt me more than anything.
I think we are about ready to get to the situation after this run where we're here. And then he got a couple of yards there, but I think it was like 1 yard. I'm just not sure that it's that much of a difference if there is a difference there.
Especially since the difference is 30 versus 90 strength.
Yeah, you'd think it would be an enormous difference. And see there, he looked like he stood up, but when you stand up like that, I'm not really sure that's a good positive either. And I mean, it's putting yourself in a bad spot.
Oh yeah, we're talking about a large difference in terms of strength.
Yeah, we're not talking 40 to 45.
All right, switch to that stretch run and then over to that 4-3 normal at Tampa 2 again. Same play, same defense, and let's see if we have any success here. And, absolutely not.
Just crushed. Just absolutely crushed. Remember, this is the CPU running at first. So they're going to attempt to take it to the stretch. Take it out wide. Get the one-on-one matchup. Here he goes. Bam. Met. And we really thought, you know, he came in low. We really thought that he would push through that and push forward is what we thought would happen. Here.
He is just getting
stopped.
Nowhere. But it is against my terrific Bills front.
There, I mean, 53 acted like he had like 10 strength. He got my way, a little toothpick. So, you know, so far we have not seen the area where he's really fighting back.
I think the most beneficial thing coming out of this video is all of y'all watching it should be scared of my Bills defense.
All right, here we go. We're getting to where Andrew is running, and we're still not having success. I think was that Darby over there that we tried running at?
I believe Darby is... Yeah, that should be Darby, I think. Darby or my rookie Beckham.
Right there. And you think you'd have the opportunity, you'd have the upper hand there with 90 strength. And decent trucking already. We didn't change the trucking.
Yeah, trucking, I believe, is around 84, 85. Oh, here's a one-on-one.
See him? You see his head go down. He purposely tried to truck and get through that.
Getting nowhere.
Just not yet seeing that opportunity to really get in that situation.
I believe right here I switched to one of my favorite run plays. Don't want to give too much away about my gameplay, but this is one of my favorite run plays right here. So
to really see, it's like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
Can we have the opportunity? And there you saw him finally push someone over, but was it maybe a yard and a half?
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
and the problem
right
is there he didn't do it. So,
Yeah.
okay, if you do it 1 time out of 9 times, is that 90 strength guy really that more important? There, again. So there's a 1 out of 3 times that he actually pushed somebody over with 90 strength.
Yeah. I mean, this is a small sample size. I'll give it that. But I'm not seeing anything that's too conclusive that strength is has that big of an impact on this game.
And what we're talking, I mean, because obviously we aren't changing our people, and you can't change your players in franchise. But what we're talking about is if you're going and you're looking at, hey, I want a running back, and this running back has 90 strength, is it more valuable than, say, someone with 70 strength? Remember that our difference is 90 to 30. So really that 90 strength to 70 strength probably isn't much of a difference at all.
Yeah, I'm not seeing. Here's another one-on-one matchup, and he does get some yards there. But once again, I mean, it's just not anything impressive, honestly.
And it's to that point where he still always falls down.
I mean, what you continue noticing is right there, he trucked through a guy, but gained a yard.
Yeah, you saw that truck there, and I did like that push that he got the leverage there. But the key thing that we need to talk about is, like we've mentioned, the big difference between the 90 and the 30, and the relationship of looking at free agents, or if you're drafting someone, they're probably not going to be that much of a difference. That was a huge truck there. So is there a big difference between, for instance, an 80 strength and a 60 strength player? Is a big difference between 90 and 70? Probably not. Probably not a huge. There's a difference, but probably not big enough for you to go out of your way for that player.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the true thing is, if you find a guy that's got 80 plus trucking, he's probably not going to have any lower than 70 or mid 70 strength. So if you got a guy that's trucking, it doesn't matter if his strength 70 or 90. I don't think you're going to see that much of a difference.
And how expensive is strength? I don't know how expensive strength is, but you may not want to use XP on strength. That's a key thing that we're looking at here too. Do I want to use XP on strength? We're going to keep doing this series, and we're going to let Nets at ball carrier vision. And the big complaint, the big argument is it doesn't matter if the computer controls or not. So pay attention to Nets time.
Yeah, and you'll see right here, I do take my strength back down to 74 where it was when we started. So that way, no one thinks I'm manipulating my attributes. It does go right back down to where we started.
And that's important for those of you who listen to the video. So thanks for listening, and we've enjoyed doing this, and we'll have more investigations in the future.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Well, that's all we have for the show. Hope you enjoyed. Mike and I, signing off.